Hello, and today we're going to be doing an analysis on the WJEC Eduqas poem The Manhunt by Simon Armitage. We're going to start at looking at the context of this poem. The specific context to this poem is that it was written from the perspective of a wife, Laura, whose husband was badly shot whilst peacekeeping in Bosnia. You want to briefly mention this in your analysis, just so you can show the examiner you have an understanding of the poem. However, it's quite hard to embed in your quotations, so I wouldn't recommend using it in your comparison at all. However, you do want to mention the universal context, especially in the comparison. This is the only poem in the WJEC Anthology which touches on the topic of PTSD. The universal context is that war has physical and mental damage on the soldiers who participate in it. So now we're going to start our analysis, and we're going to look at the semantic field of searching. This is shown in the words manhunt, trace, and explore. The word manhunt as a title connotes that there's a search for the man that the soldier was before the war, and the words trace and explore help the semantic field by creating a sense of incompletion, as if the soldier's identity has been damaged by this gunshot wound. For our second point, we're going to look at the semantic field of love in the words passionate nights and intimate days. This creates a stark contrast between the pain that the soldier has felt in the war and the pain which is explored throughout the whole of the poem. So by introducing this, Simon Armitage is already creating tension in the first line. For our third point, and in our first paragraph, we want to mention the anaphora. Only then. By using the anaphora, Armitage is showing that the couple's love and relationship is dependent on something else and needs something for it to work. So only then would he let me trace after the passionate nights and intimate days. And this just shows that Laura needs to do something to help them maintain their relationship. So at the moment in this poem, their relationship is incomplete. For our second paragraph, we want to start by looking at the connotations of the word handle and hold. The alliteration in this creates a sense of softness, and it shows that Laura, the wife, is trying to coax her husband into letting her back into his life again, because they've been so distant because of this gunshot wound and how it's really terribly affected the soldier. And by being kind and soft and caring to him, it just shows that she's trying to help him heal from the damage that he's felt. Next, we want to look at the war imagery that Armitage uses in blown hinge and fractured rudder. By mentioning this, it shows that you've got to focus on a broad range of the techniques that Armitage is using, because we mainly focused on the wife and the mental damage that the soldier has faced. But on the surface, this poem is about a lot of the physical damage which the bullet has caused on the soldier. So just by mentioning the war imagery is going to make sure you hit the mark scheme. The fractured rudder and the blown hinge are really destructive words. It's not like a cut, it's blown, as if it's totally destroyed and past repair. So it just shows how destructive that the war is. Next, we want to look at the parachute silk of his punctured lung. This is a visual metaphor. For the analysis of this, you really want to mention how the lung is vital to life, and that it's punctured, so he may be near death, or he's very, very unwell. But by describing it as a parachute silk, it shows how fragile the soldier is. For our final point in this paragraph, we want to mention the scan and fetus. Oh no, we're on to the next paragraph already, whoops. So for our third paragraph, we want to mention the scan and the fetus. What this does is it creates a really harrowing image, and it's a semantic field actually of birth, but the harrowing image is that the bullet, which has destroyed his life, is now becoming new life in a way, the scan, the fetus, as if it's being reborn. and it just shows how the bullet's actually growing inside of him, and it's not physically growing, but like the effect that it's causing are getting worse and worse on the soldier. So this is a great point to bring up, just to show how much damage that this bullet is causing to the soldier. Next, you want to look at the reference to PTSD which Simon Armitage makes, which is to a sweating, unexploded mine buried deep in his mind. What this does is it shows that the soldier has an unexploded mind, like all of his feelings are gathering up inside of his head, and this is a PTSD, and he just can't control it, and it's as if it's out of control, and one thing may trigger this mine, and his relationship with his wife Laura may be lost forever if this mine explodes. For our final point, we want to look at the enjambment in the last lines, which every nerve in his body had tightened and closed. What this does is it reflects how the soldier's struggle isn't just one day, he's feeling down one day, it's every day, and it's every day that his body is tightening and closed, and he's receding into himself, and he's distancing himself from others. And this is a really powerful effect, because throughout the whole of the poem, all of the lines are cut off with punctuation, but towards the end, when she widens the search, it just shows that his whole body is just tightening and seizing up because of what this bullet has done to him. So for the conclusion, you want to look at the last two lines, because there's a use of anaphora again, and it says, "Only then did I come close," and this is one of the most powerful lines in the poem. What it does is it shows that after everything that Laura, the wife, has done, the mining and attending, the understanding, the handling and holding, has only got her to come close. She hasn't totally healed him, and it shows that having to do this every day, and just her trying to get closer and closer, and the soldier's healing isn't going to be instantaneous, it's going to take time, and only then, again, it shows dependency. She's had to do everything that this poem has said just to come close. She's not there yet. So that's the analysis of the Manhunt.